Before prophets called down fire from heaven, before judgment swept across the land of Israel, there was a throne, and upon it sat a woman whose name would echo through the ages. She ruled not with wisdom, but with terror. Kings bowed, prophets fled, and an entire nation trembled beneath her shadow. Her name was Jezebel. There was a time when Israel walked faithfully with its God, a time when altars burned with holy fire, and the covenant was honored from generation to generation. But under King Ahab and his queen Jezebel, the heart of the nation was turned. Sacred places were torn down, foreign idols rose in their stead, and the people bowed before gods of stone and silence. Jezebel did not merely worship false gods, she waged war against the true one. The prophets of the Lord were hunted, silenced, driven into caves and darkness. Messengers carried her decrees across every village. Fear gripped the land like iron chains, and truth went into hiding, waiting for a voice bold enough to speak it. But the Almighty does not leave his people without a witness. From the wilderness, through wind and dust and solitude, one man emerged. He carried no army, he bore no crown. He had only the word of the living God burning upon his lips. One man stood against an entire kingdom. His name was Elijah. At Elijah's word, the heavens sealed shut. Not a drop of rain fell upon the earth. Wells dried to dust. Rivers became cracked stone. Livestock collapsed beneath the merciless sun. Families starved, and for 3 long years, the land of Israel withered. A kingdom brought to its knees by the silence of heaven. Then came the day of reckoning. Atop Mount Carmel, before the eyes of all Israel, Elijah issued his challenge. 450 prophets of Baal on one side, and one solitary man of God on the other. Let each call upon their God, and whichever answers by fire, let him be the true God. The prophets of Baal cried out from morning until evening, but there was no answer, no voice, no fire. Then Elijah prayed, and heaven answered. Fire fell from above, consuming the sacrifice, the stones, and the very water that soaked the altar. The people fell upon their faces, and they knew the Lord, He is God. But in the palace, there was no repentance. Jezebel's eyes burned with fury. Her heart did not soften. Her pride did not bend. She sent a message to the prophet, a vow sealed in rage. By this time tomorrow, you will be dead. The queen had declared war on God's chosen. Even the mightiest of prophets carry mortal hearts. Elijah fled into the wilderness, beyond the reach of men. He collapsed beneath a solitary tree, exhausted, afraid, alone. The man who called down fire from heaven now begged for the mercy of death. Even prophets grow weary. And there, in the depths of despair, God came. Not in the mighty wind that shattered the mountains, not in the earthquake that split the stone, not in the raging fire, but in a still, small whisper. And in that gentle voice, the prophet found his strength restored. Yet Jezebel's cruelty did not rest. A man named Naboth possessed a vineyard, a humble inheritance beside the palace walls. Ahab desired it. Jezebel seized it. She forged letters, she summoned false witnesses, and an innocent man was condemned and stoned to death. For power and possession, justice itself was murdered. But God sees what kings ignore. Elijah stood before Ahab, and the word of the Lord thundered from his lips. Judgment was declared. The house of Ahab would fall. The blood of the innocent would be answered. Pride would not rule forever. The day of reckoning arrived at the gates of Jezreel. Jehu rode in with vengeance and purpose. Inside the palace, Jezebel adorned herself one final time, painting her face, standing defiant at the window. But defiance could not save her. The queen who ruled through fear met the very end that had been foretold long before. And then, silence. The throne sat empty. The halls echoed with nothing but the memory of cruelty. Torches flickered and faded. Power had passed. Pride had fallen. But the truth of God remained. Unshaken, unbroken, eternal. And so the story stands, not as a tale of the ancient world alone, but as a mirror held before every generation. Every soul must choose pride or obedience, power or faith, darkness or truth. The choice has always been ours, and heaven is always watching.
Long before her name was known in Israel, before she became a queen, there was a princess born in a distant kingdom by the sea. Her name was Jezebel. She was born in Sidon, an ancient Phoenician city along the northern coast of the Great Sea. Sidon was a place of wealth, trade, and powerful royal influence. Ships traveled from its ports across distant lands, carrying goods, culture, and religion. Jezebel was the daughter of King Ethbaal, ruler of Sidon. Her father was both a king and a high priest, a man whose authority joined political power with religious leadership. In Sidon, religion shaped daily life. Temples stood at the center of the city. Priests guided ceremonies. Festivals and rituals honored the god Baal, whom the people believed controlled nature and prosperity. This was the world into which Jezebel was born. Raised inside the royal palace, she grew up surrounded by privilege, structure, and discipline. Royal children were trained carefully from a young age. They learned diplomacy, leadership, and loyalty to their nation. Jezebel observed court meetings, religious ceremonies, and royal traditions. She watched how rulers influenced people through belief and authority. Her education prepared her not simply to live in royalty, but to represent her kingdom's identity wherever she would go. As the daughter of a king, she learned confidence and command. Strength was admired. Certainty was expected. Leadership was considered a responsibility, not a choice. The culture of Sidon shaped her understanding of the world. The customs she learned as a child became the foundation of her character. Years passed, and Jezebel grew into a royal woman, known for intelligence and strong presence. Like many royal daughters of the ancient world, her future would be decided through political alliance. At that time, kingdoms strengthened peace through marriage. Royal unions created partnerships between nations. Far to the south lay the kingdom of Israel. Its king, Ahab, sought alliance with Sidon to strengthen political and economic ties. A marriage agreement was arranged between the two royal houses. Jezebel was chosen to become the bride of King Ahab. Leaving her homeland, she traveled from Sidon toward Israel, accompanied by royal servants and ceremonial procession. She carried with her the customs, beliefs, and identity of the kingdom that had raised her. For Jezebel, this journey marked the end of her life as a princess of Sidon and the beginning of her role as queen in a foreign land. A new chapter was beginning. The princess was becoming a queen.